Hey YouTube, how are you doing? It's
It's Benny's live stream. Broadcasting live every night, 9 p.m. Central European Time.
yep. Back with a brand new live stream. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's live concert. This was so much fun again. I played Higher Than High, which I only played once ever live before. Wow. And that felt really good. So I want to continue with this live concert series on every Friday for sure. Today, however, is going to be something different. Today I'm going to talk about my upcoming record. Yay! I think that's worth an applause. Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to talk a little bit about this upcoming record. I want to talk a little bit about the writing process. I want to talk a little bit about the lyrical process and all that kind of stuff. So, because it's like my situation at the moment, I'm working on my record. And if you're liking these live streams, by the way, make sure you leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. You can also leave a thumbs down. You can leave a comment telling me why you love or why you hate what I do. And if so, that's all right. And if you like what I do, you can also leave a comment and just tell me why. So I would really love to read this. And yeah. Other than that, I think I want to take you into the process of writing my second studio album. So I found myself in a very interesting situation because I released an album in 2017. So my first record, Honesty, was released in 2017, April to be exact. And so I thought this was just a great record. And I'm still very proud of it. So I love the songwriting and I love every little thing about it because this was my very first baby that I wanted to put out there and see what the world thinks about it. And I still listen to it quite sometimes, and I still love it. I still love it because it's so natural, so fresh, so pure, if that's the right word to say it. But at the same time, of course, I developed as a producer, as a songwriter, as an artist, and I always had this vision of releasing a bunch of stuff. So I ended up writing tons and tons of songs every month, every week, basically. And I always thought that releasing something is changing the appearance of an artist completely, and that's totally the case. But in 2020, you really need to be aware of the fact that just releasing something doesn't necessarily mean that the world's just suddenly know you. And although I've been in this business for so many years now, mostly as a sideman bass player and a singer, I kind of had to adapt to this new situation because I thought the people would suddenly recognize me as an artist, being an artist songwriter that puts out his records. But I kept being the bass player guy, so that's a very interesting transition that I needed to make, and I'm still in the process of doing this. So I keep writing every day. I keep producing every day, and I keep trying to improve all my skills that are involved with songwriting, with lyrics, with melody, with comping, all that kind of stuff, with production, mixing, mastering, all that kind of stuff. So I don't really think there are any detours for a songwriter to take on this path of releasing something, because you just naturally end up working on your stuff first on your own, and then you probably reach a point to some degree where you really need to ask for help. So and that was the case just a couple weeks ago, to be honest with you guys, because I reached a level where I didn't think my lyrics held up just enough with the songwriting quality that I brought in, meaning like musically. And also, I want to talk a little bit about an issue that that I was facing plenty of times, but I wasn't. I probably was due to dickish to just accept the fact that I needed help in this process, or maybe just a little too cocky about this very, very specific topic of songwriting, and I'm talking about lyrics. So I know that I'm fluent in English. Of course, I can talk about most topics with native speakers, but when I look back on my lyrics that I wrote, for example, on the Honesty record, and this is a pure honest record, so I wrote the lyrics, and I only had a native speaker double check what I've written. And that was a very, very cool thing to do, because I learned so much from this process. But still, I'm no native speaker. And as I see some some guys here in the comments from the US watching my stuff, they sometimes ask me if I'm from the US, but I'm not from the US, so I'm still here in Germany. I'm a German native speaker, and I'm always try to adapt as much as possible of the accent, and just like lyrical phrases that you put up that you pick up if you're watching like TV shows and all that kind of stuff. But there is a certain point, I guess, where as a non-native speaker, you reach a limit if you want to express something in the most emotional way possible, right? So, and I was hitting this kind of limit a couple weeks ago. So I asked a buddy of mine, who is a native speaker and a phenomenal singer, Charles Simmons, by the way. Also check out his fitness program on YouTube, and he has his own website called Vox Buddy, and so he's very fluent in German as well. So I asked him, hey, you want to do a collaboration work kind of thing, because I'm writing so many lyrics every week basically. So I asked him, hey, could you like double check all my stuff, because I always get stuck with lyrics usually. And same happened if you remember, we started out this song. Maybe I'm gonna just play it for a sec, so you get a hold on what I'm talking about. Some of you might know this because some of you are in the choir. Check it out. Talking about this song. So here comes a scratch vocal.
Wake me up if I can't get to my senses.
That's the only pilot, so these were the first words that came to my mind.
Wake me up if I can't get to my senses by myself.
Don't have nothing here yet. Fantasy English, that's always my thing to do if I don't know the words yet. you get the idea, right? So I mixed up some stuff. I knew I was wanting to start with "Wake Me Up, I Can't Get to My Senses by Myself," and so I kept this line, and I want to keep this my opening line. But like to continue that story, you need to make up something, right? And I got stuck on this for just when we finished the live stream. I think it's starting a song from scratch, part 4 or so. So I got stuck on this song, and I just didn't come up with a story yet. So coming back to my buddy Charles, I was working with him on some bass and vocal stuff. So we're exchanging lessons. He's teaching me singing, and I'm teaching him bass. So, and we're in contact like every other day. And so I talked about this idea. Man, I got so stuck because I think I don't have the emotional vocabulary to just express what I want to say with this song. I kind of have a lot of hook lines that I know are really good, to as far as I believe, but I just thought, man, I know this hook line is gonna be something like, I just can't get enough of you, but I don't wanna just express just can't get enough of you in a very simple way. So I want to express it with a lot of emotion, kind of like I don't know if you know that from Daniel Caesar and Her, called Best Part. Kind of like these lyrics. If you don't know the song, check it out. It's an amazing song, and the lyrics are so fantastic because they're really expressing the emotion between two individuals loving each other so much that they can't get enough of each other, right? So I really want to do something like this. So, and he just said, man, just write either fantasy lyrics so I can get the melody right, or just introduce a concept of the song to me so I can come up with a story to your concept. And I think that's a very, very interesting thing to do, especially for Europeans trying to write English songs. And so for any non-native songwriter that is watching this, I can only recommend, find a native speaker that you trust, that you think is capable of telling your story in the most emotional way possible, because that is what you need to focus on if you're writing songs, the emotional vocabulary. And I don't think that if you don't have the vocabulary, you should force it to put out as simple as possible with your vocabulary. Try to put it as far as you can, but I find so many, I know so many songwriters that are a little cocky with their lyrics because they don't ask for help at the right time. So I just wanted to share this experience. And I also want to share this with you guys. So these are titles that I'm working on right now. And I'm about to write a concept, just as my buddy told me, for any of these songs, which is a lot of work because you still need to come up with a story, with something you want to express, something you wanna tell. And funny enough, when I was in Los Angeles last year, I recorded a lot of like 1-minute ideas of songs that I just put out with no fear. And back then I thought like the lyrics sucked big time. Like really sucked. And I thought I'd never gonna use them for any kind of song on my upcoming record. So now with a little distance, in times of social distance, Nice little wordplay in here, right? I just reviewed some of these lyrics. So if you don't know these videos, let me just show you like one or two. So these are very, very simple, right? Rather rough than to be considered very good.
Quit my day on the roof. This party's going crazy here in downtown LA. I prefer simple juice, no drugs, no weed, no excuse. Who cares what people say? They're talking about all their fancy clothes, having a ball at Hollywood shows, driving them cars and who they know. Ain't no better time for me to go. I don't trust them anyway. I don't trust them anyway. I don't trust them anyway. Because if I will lose my track, I don't believe they got my back. I don't trust them anyway. I don't trust them anyway. I don't trust them anyway.
Was one of these videos, right? And back when I recorded this, I thought it was complete crap. But now, obviously, I just reviewed the lyrics, and I thought, I can completely re-feel this situation that I felt in this moment, because I was at a Hollywood party, and people just kept talking about themselves, talking about stuff that they've accomplished, and like they're so proud of themselves. So I wanted to express this in a song. Also, I had the experience of being asked if I wanted a drink so many times at this party, and I refused, and also drugs, and I refused because I don't do drugs and I don't drink alcohol at all. So I quit all that a long time ago, not because I had a problem, just my body didn't like it. And so that experience was very, very inspiring to some degree. And I was talking to so many like manager guys that said they could help me to make it, whatever that means. And I wanted to express this in this song. So I wrote this, Don't Trust Them Anyway, which is right here in my lyrics, in my lyrics box right here. So I want to continue this story, but same thing, I got stuck a little bit with writing the second verse, because the second verse is always the hardest thing to do. And the continuation, same with middle 8, where you need to have this transition from something going to something, right? That's always the hardest part about a lyric to me. Same went with this one. I received so many messages about this clip. Check it out. Here we go.
I got my feet back on the ground. See nobody turn around. Look up, 'cause I'm tired of being down. Think I'm the only one in town. Say, do you still believe in everything we wanna be? Say, do you still believe in everything we wanna be? Just need a little more money.
All right, so um, I wrote this song when I realized that I was completely broke after this LA trip, and didn't really know how to get out there pretty soon, because as soon as I got back, I had some bills to pay, of all the stuff that summed up while I was gone, and I wanted to express that. So this lyric, back when I wrote it, I thought, yeah, this is much too simple. This is much too simple, but it had some emotional um, contribution to what I felt at this moment, and so I wanted to express this. But same thing, I'm struggling with finding a second verse to that. So this is where it comes in very, very handy to know good songwriters, good lyricists, good singers, to know just know somebody that is fluent in the language that you want to express yourself in, right? And I chose English because I always felt so connected to the English language. I love the English language ever since I started out learning the language, and um, I have a long history with traveling back and forth to the U.S. I spent about half a year in Connecticut when I was 17. Then I was traveling back and forth doing tours through the U.S. So basically, I was in every part of the country. Um, but I strongly felt connected to the West Coast the most. So that's why I'm traveling back and forth all the time, visiting Nam, just staying after that a little longer, and finally doing this trip, um, this trip last year, that I wanna redo sometime. Um, Let me make sure to read some comments, because I've been so distracted with my lyrics. I didn't really reply to comments. Hey Anna, hey JR, great to see you again. Hey Mike, lyrics, great advice is reading lots of poetry. That's absolutely true, and I think a great advice is to check out the hip hop artists as well, because rappers are writing dope lyrics if they're not overusing the F word. But I mean, like political stuff that they put in there, or um, like language figures and metaphors and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing what they come up with, and like rhyme schemes are so super interesting in rap. Um, by the way, I wrote this lyric to my how to mix rap vocals in 10 minutes. Like seriously, I was I was asking a friend of mine if I could like demo his rap vocals for my how to mix rap vocals live stream. So he refused because the song wasn't out yet, and I totally understand that, and I wasn't thinking about that back when I had this idea. So that was, I don't know, 8:30, so half an hour before my live stream starts, and I was panicked. I was shocked. I was panicking out. So I just thought, okay, and so I need to write something really, really quick, and I need to record something really, really quick. So that's exactly what I did, and I came up with this vocal. And then my girlfriend Jenny, she came home. She was listening to the live stream while she was driving home from like who doesn't care. Doesn't matter which city it was. But she was listening to a live stream, and she said, "Man, this lyric is so great. This hook is so great. You should use it." And I was so astounded because it was so funny. The story back then behind this lyric was so funny, and I actually think it turned out pretty good. Maybe I'm gonna use it some in some song or so. I also want to show you something that means a lot to me. Where is it? Oh yeah, I want to show this lyric with you. I want to show you this lyric because I think this is gonna be the most emotional song of the upcoming record. It's called Why, and also a rough demo that I recorded in my hotel room back in LA. Check it out.
Guess it's true, I've been fooled, believing you, the things you do, as if you knew what we've been through. Oh God, tell me why you took him fast, you made it slow. I wanna blast your power show, but it will last, my fire's low. God, tell me why. Why did you have to take him so soon? Oh, why can't you just tell me why? Why does the rain keep falling when I'm falling? Why does the world keep turning when it's still hurting? Why are the best ones dying when they're still flying? I really can't find no reason, so God, tell me why.
Okay, so this song means a lot to me because I lost a very good friend and one of the most talented musicians that I ever got to know in my entire life last year, right before I took off to LA. And another story behind this song is I had no guitar with me. I only had my bass with me, and I couldn't bring like two instruments on the flight. So I ended up driving to Guitar Center and buying one of the cheapest guitars that I found. It's so funny because I was first time I went to Guitar Center, I was too shy to ask for the cheapest guitar, and so I played a bunch of guitars in Guitar Center, and I was telling the dude, man, I'm thinking about like, I don't know, a intermediate kind of guitar, and he was showing me a lot of guitars. And in the end, I didn't end up buying one because I was too shy to ask for something cheaper. Like the cheapest one he showed me was about $500, and so I said, "Oh, okay, I'm still thinking about it." And I only needed this guitar for the purpose to write while I was in LA. So like 2 days after that, I went back to Guitar Center and just bought like $100 guitar, which is this exact one that you just saw. And the whole day I was thinking about my friend that just sadly passed away before I left. And that was like the first thing that came to my mind on this guitar. And I just thought it was so beautiful to write something like a questioning letter to God. Why he took him so soon. He was just 38 or so years of age, and that's much too soon. Yeah, I'm still very devastated about this loss. So and that was like, I don't know, one of the only days in LA that I experienced some rain, right? So I just thought this would be something very nice to write about and compare it, because in fact I spent quite some time in LA with this particular friend of mine. We were going to some restaurants and also played some sessions, and we sat in with some bands together, and he was just an amazing keyboard player. So that was my story behind why. But I also work on some songs that just came to my mind a couple days ago, for example. So For example, we're we have to wear masks right now to protect others from the virus and also to stay protected ourselves. But specialists say that doesn't solve the problem of protecting yourself. But the funny thing is, I went to grocery shopping, and I saw everybody wearing masks, and people are forced to look into their eyes. And what I thought was, it's funny because most people actually have beautiful eyes, but as soon as they turn down the mask, like this is when the rest of the face appears, right? So we don't have a complete image of somebody with not seeing nose and mouth, right? But I can just say that most people have really, really beautiful eyes, and I wasn't aware of that fact, so I wanted to write a song about that. I haven't written any music to this yet, but I will very soon. And also, this right here, Clarity, this is inspired by a YouTube channel banner that I just saw the other day, saying "in search of mental clarity." And I thought this was so inspiring because as a musician, as a writer, I found I find myself in search of mental clarity so often, right? I thought this was very inspiring and also worth a song title. So I came up with, "This is what I want the world to be from now on to eternity. This is what I want from you and me. Getting tired of fighting gravity to find clarity. Yes, I'm in search of clarity." And I can't wait to write some music to that because this is really a topic that occupies my mind quite a lot. Okay, let me read some more comments. Where did I stop? Thank you, Mike. I'm glad you like honesty. Thank you, Anna, for agreeing to Michael. The most important thing is putting in the work. Yeah, you're right, my JR. Although I have to say that some really, really great songs are written in a very short amount of time and with very little effort, because I don't know, like, I don't know if you experienced this yourself, but sometimes an idea just hits you right in your face and you just need to sit down and do it, right? And usually this applies to the rule of work smart, not hard, because I really was on the same road, and I was thinking I need to put in so much work so I can make it. But I kind of learned the hard way that this isn't necessarily the case. When I talked to somebody that made it, whatever this means, so we're talking about like major successes, right? So being on the radio, for example. So I was talking to a friend of mine who had a major hit here in Germany last year. And he was telling me that he didn't really put in a lot of work. He just was inspired from the stuff he experienced. And I found myself in that situation plenty of times, that I was so obsessed with work and with putting in the work that I didn't really experience anything else but working, right? I didn't experience anything in my relationship. I didn't really experience anything from my family, my friends, from everyday life. But at the same time, I wanted to tell stories about everyday life. So most of my stuff came from TV shows and kind of stuff, right? And that's like not 100% authentic all the time. So I agree and I disagree a little bit, JR. But it's important to know how to work something out. That's very true. Michael, JR absolutely pretty much goes for any worthwhile endeavor. Right. Same thing that I just said. For lyrics, a great advice is, we got that. It's one of my Apple Music playlists. Cool. I like that. Thank you, Mike. I truly appreciate that. You like my English. Jenny Marsala. Yes, Charles Simmons, Vox Body. Go check it out. It's written like this. Definitely worth to check out. It's a great fitness coaching that is a combination between fitness and like classic working out, and vocal exercise. And this is just so cool. Really, check it out. Vox Body. What else? Dude, any tips for singing while playing bass? I find it impossible. That probably is a good example for putting in the work. Try to figure out the notes that are connected. So, for example, like rhythmically connected. I always found it very hard if I have a syncopated bass line and a very straight vocal. For example, if I do something like a 16th kind of bass line that is syncopated as well, I really have a hard time to sing over that. Sometimes it can help if you write down the rhythm of the melody that you want to sing. Sometimes it might help if you write down the bass line rhythm underneath it and try to stay in the grid so you can actually see where the notes are at the same beat. So you can have these anchor points, for example, to just like get from one anchor point to another and just fill in the gaps. And I think that's pretty easy to do. For example, I was struggling with let me grab a bass real quick and just do an example. For example, Lovely Day by the wonderful Bill Withers. I was struggling with playing this bass line and singing at the same time. I need to open my console window. Here we go. So you guys actually probably know the bass line. Right? And to sing like something like "When I wake up in the morning, love," over that was really hard at the first time. Like, when I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eye, there's something without warning, love, heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world is alright with me. Something like this is a very good example for a syncopated bass line, but a pretty straightforward, straight melody. And it really helped me to break this down into to the very core parts of first the bass line and the vocal line as well, and see where the notes hit each other. So, when I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eye, there's something without warning, love, heavy on my mind. So see, like, you can really hit these anchor points if you just make yourself aware of these. They can really help you to follow the groove a little easier. I haven't played the song in a while. I just realized. Okay, so I hope that was a cool tip for you. Let's continue here in the comment section. Gerard goes back to practice. Took me a while to sing and play guitar. Dividing your brain like that is a core. Yeah, it basically feels like dividing your brain a little bit, especially if you do something like rhythmically challenging. Um, um, Something like a tumbao bass line from Afro-Cuban style. So check it out. En el barrio la cachimba se ha formado la coridea. En el barrio la cachimba se ha formado la coridea. Allá fueron los bomberos con sus campanas, con sus sirenas. Allá fueron los bomberos con sus campanas, con sus sirenas. Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? El cuarto de Tula era candela. Te quiero dormir, I know. Abajo la vela. Something like this is very, very hard. And it goes down to en el barrio la cachimba se ha formado la coridea. And I mean, people from Cuba, they grow up with this stuff, but we really have to put in some work to get this in your feeling. And I always recommend to just learn it with the sound. Don't learn it just only theoretically, because this will keep you concentrated on the theory behind it so much that you forget how it actually should sound. Always use the theory to how do you say, to explain yourself why this sounds this way. Okay, so I hope that is a cool tip on that topic. I don't think you need to need emotional vocabulary to deliver the message. An example is Patti Smith. Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine. That's a good one. Great line about youth and defying authority. Yeah, of course, there's some great examples for very simple lyrics that are going a long way. But as a European, especially as a German, you have so many adjectives to describe something, and you're not really able to judge which adjective is gonna go with the emotion that you want to express in English. So that's always a struggle that you have to face, that you have to solve, in order to have the perfect emotional connection to a song. Also, Laza Lerner Cohen, Bob Dylan, Lana Del Rey is an amazing lyricist too. That's true. Nice playing a strut. Okay, cool. I love struts. I only have a strut. Going into fringe topics is always interesting. One of my favorite writers here in Spain is a heroin junkie and talks a lot about the addict's mindset and comparing it to love. That's a good one. Sometimes a relationship can be very toxic. That's true. Just like drugs are. That's why I quit drugs a long time ago. And I didn't take any. That said, I didn't even smoke pot in my entire life. I never tried it, never missed it. And this is completely honest, really. People don't believe me if I say that. You may be the only German guy I know that doesn't drink beer. I do drink beer, but just with no alcohol. I like beer, actually. So, but I prefer the non-alcoholic beer over the beer that I had with alcohol. It's funny, right? I should write a song about that. I prefer simple beer with no alcohol in it. That's a song right there. And also, what was this line? A good friend of mine, who happens to be from Cuba, by the way. He's an amazing guitarist, Danny Martinez. he once said something that I really loved, and I just thought about it right now, and I will write this down immediately because I'm definitely gonna make out a song out of that. Um, he said, "Oh God, that was so funny." Um, he said, "I'm a rich man in the body of a poor." It's so great, right? Speaking of simple lyrics, I will make a song out of that. Promise, Denny, you're the greatest author of all time. So I call this Rich Man. I'm gonna make a song out of that. I promise. Um, and I might gonna show you the process of writing this because I think this is gonna be very funny. Nothing wrong with simple. Ask Hemingway. Yes, you're definitely right, Mike. Hemingway's novels are a lot more funny if you imagine the protagonist as a close-seated gay. Okay. I tried to read it and got that in mind. Agree on rappers, love Kendrick Lamar and Robert Glasper. I do too. Wish you a nice weekend. Hey, Michael. Wish you a nice weekend too. Getting some strong John Mayer vibes here. Totally a compliment. Yes, that's a compliment to me. Cheap guitars are workable with a little setup. That's true. Benny's a sweetheart. You too have lovely eyes, my dude. Okay, thank you so much. Totally agree, but a Spanish writer once said, inspiration needs to find you working. True. You've been putting in the work for years. That is true. So I have a very, very nice story about Picasso. So imagine Picasso sitting at a cafe, and he was drawing some scratch. Old Picasso. Get rid of my base. He was drawing a like very simple scratch on a paper towel, meaning a napkin, and so he was just like fooling around, and drawing some weird stuff, like some weird Picasso stuff. And the woman next table didn't recognize him. So Picasso, as soon as he finished his cappuccino, he paid and he just tossed the paper. And the woman went screaming like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I wanna buy this because I think it's really beautiful. And Picasso says, okay, you can have it. Pay me $1 million. And she says, what? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? It took you like 10 minutes to draw this. And he said, no, it took me my entire life to draw this. That's deep shit. I thought this was really deep. Think about it. Leave a comment what you think about this story. El cuarto de Tula, le cogió candela, se quedó dormida, no? You're a salsa bass player. Wow. Salsa is so nice to play. I love it. Oh, thank you, Mike. I will ask for help, for sure. Okay, so right, JR. Definitely right. So Picasso is a true idol in so many ways because he just did what he loved and didn't really try to fit in to something. And I think a lot of artists, doesn't matter if they're in music or in art, they find themselves either being put into some position, like for example, like getting together with a manager or a producer guy that tells him you need to be such and such, whereas the artist actually feels something completely different. It happened to me, happened to so many people I know. And I think Picasso is one of the greatest examples to just be authentic about the stuff he did. And I think that's why his art finally made it. You just, I don't know, I think, how do I say this? I think there's a crowd and there's an audience for any kind of art, but the real art is to get your art, your product, your songs, your painting, your drawing, whatever, your photos, your videos, in front of the people that are actually admiring your stuff. And this is the true art. So marketing became such an art, and most artists underestimate the importance of being a good marketer, being good at selling yourself at the right position. I don't say that selling yourself is over, like above everything, but it's a very, very major part of success if you reaching out for success, I guess. So I'm still trying to master the art of marketing, because I'm still trying to put my stuff out and get it in front of the faces of the right people that might actually like my stuff. For example, some of you guys. So you keep watching my live streams because I assume you like what I do. And I want to reach out to even more people like that, because someday I want to be able to play concerts on my own with a lot of people that are feeling the same way about my music that I do. Maybe they can relate to this as much as I can. And this was the most inspiring experience in my entire career to receive this kind of emotional reaction to my songs. And that goes much longer than having a crowd of like 1 million people. If you're only receiving like one message saying, man, this song helped me through this and this situation, and thank you so much, this meant a lot to me, and all that kind of stuff. This is what I started out doing this for, and this is what keeps me driving towards my greater goals. So I think that was a nice little word to end today's live stream, I guess. I hope you took some inspiring words out of this live stream today. I hope you just enjoyed this little philosophical approach on some lyrical topics, some songs that I wrote. And I also want to share one last one with you that I wrote in LA that might be fitting the situation right now pretty well. So, meaning I'd rather have a crowd of very appreciative people than having 1 million people watching and hearing and listening to my stuff that don't really appreciate or don't get my kind of music. So I got this song.
Too many hours, you made me listen, and you keep talking about yourself. Ooh, ooh. No, no, you're never too late. You ruined the game. You're better than anyone. Oh, you're living the life like nobody else. 1 billion on Instagram, but I'm not the same. No, don't wanna play the numbers game. No, I just don't care about numbers.
So this is a pretty good example for that. I just don't care about numbers, as long as the numbers are real and the people behind these numbers are real. So I'm talking about somebody that only gives a shit about numbers and about Instagram followers and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really want to care about this stuff as much as society tells me I should be. So I just want to put out great music for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it just the way I do. That's the most important thing to me. And having this said, I want to close today's live stream. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for being such a cool community and always coming back to my live streams. This is so much fun, and I enjoy talking to you guys, and can't wait to continue. And I'm gonna see you live on Monday. So tomorrow's gonna be a vlog day. I'm cutting a vlog, telling you a little bit about my week and all the stuff that I experienced over the week. And I will put that out tomorrow 9 o'clock, just on the regular time. But this is not gonna be live. So I'll be back with a brand new live stream on Monday. And you guys know Monday is, oh God, I forgot my own schedule. Let me look it up. Oh, Monday is Motivation Monday. So we have some more motivational topics that we're going to talk about. Can't wait for Monday to come. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're healthy. Thank you so much for watching this. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. You subscribe to my channel, all that kind of stuff. There we go. And also hit the bell if you want to be notified about any upcoming video, any video that I release. And other than that, I think I play the jingle one more time, and we're out for today.
It's Benny's live stream.
Broadcasting live every night, 9 p.m. Central European Time.
Thank you so much for watching my live stream. See you tomorrow.